come to order. We're going to rise for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Alderman Wattawa. Here. Alderwoman Calderon.
Here.
Alderman Brickner.
Here.
Alderman Fire.
Here.
Alderman Damon.
Here.
Alderwoman Fliss.
Here.
And the meeting has been properly posted and noticed.
Telephonic meeting participation request, none. Public hearings, none. Presentation, none. Citizens' comments? Melinda, is there anything?
I did, yeah. My work computer does that too. It's pretty slick.
None. Consent agenda. Is there any older person that would like anything removed from this consent agenda?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Reports of committees, commission, and boards? None. Recommendation of action from committees, commissions, and boards. Action to be taken from the Finance Committee meeting held November 2nd, 2021.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 budget and recommend set the public hearing date
Second.
For November 30th,
for November 30th.
Second.
7.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. And that is all from finance, correct?
No.
Get two more here.
Action to be taken from license committee.
Mayor, he's not done,
Got two
Mayor.
more.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the procurement of the 2022 Ford F-250.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
And then make a motion for the approval to sell the to-be retired pickup truck on the Wisconsin Surplus Action website.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
That is all from finance, sir.
Thank you. All right. Don? Action to be taken from the licensing committee meeting held November 2nd, 2021.
Mayor, we're looking for approval for new beverage operators license for Katie Darby and Nicole Luke. They need proof of paperwork. Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
That's all from licensing, Mayor.
Thank you. Action from Planning Commission meeting held October 27th, 2021. I know, Steve, you normally do it, but you weren't here. Mark, do you want to?
I got a motion.
You got it?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
it here, so. Yep, I'll make a motion to acknowledge a recommendation from the Planning Commission to deny the application for change of zoning at 3815 South KK Avenue for Sunset Investors from B2 to B2 special use for a contractor shop and to set a date for the public hearing.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Oh, wait,
Nope,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Mayor.
Sorry.
So the recommendation is to deny it.
Correct.
Okay, so we're just, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Mayor, I make a motion to acknowledge the recommendation from the Planning Commission to deny the application for the change of zoning at 3815 South KK Avenue for We Care Lawn Care from B2 to B2 special use for the contractor shop and a retail garden supply store, and to set a date for the public hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to acknowledge a recommendation from the Planning Commission to approve the applications for change of zoning for Willow Glen Elementary, Deer Creek Intermediate, and St. Francis High School from R3 to IU special use, and to set a date for the public hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Mayor, I make a motion to acknowledge the recommendation of the planning commission to approve the zoning ordinance update to chapter 212, construction site erosion control, and to set a date for the public hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
One more here. I'll make a motion to acknowledge the recommendation of the planning commission to approve the zoning ordinance update to chapter 393, article 1, post-construction stormwater management, and to set a date for the public hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
That is all from the planning commission, sir.
Thank you, Steve. Action to be taken from Celebrations Committee held September 29th, 2021. Cherry Pie LLC Performance Agreement, July 4th, 2022. Debbie and Paul, can you weigh in on this?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Cherry Pie Band and agree to the agreement for July 4th, 2022. Upon recommendation from the Celebration Committee, they are charging us the same amount. They have not raised their fee.
And Paul, did you have anything to add to that?
I do, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Just a couple of comments and recommendations with regard to the form of the agreement that they've provided. First of all, I would recommend that the city seek modification of the cancellation provisions to add language giving the city the right to have an alternate date due to inclement weather or other matters that the artist has already reserved to themselves in the agreement, as far as modifications such as riots, strikes, epidemics, or other acts of God, so that we're on parity with them. And the other was with regard to the time frame for their performance and sound check, just to modify that language to make it subject to, the working with the committee as far as the timing of its own programming for the evening, so that, for example, the sound check doesn't come in the middle of the presentation of the colors by the police department. So we could add, if they want, we could add language in there as far as giving them the program within 48 hours of the performance, something to that effect. And then finally, I would recommend, because they only provide one signature line, that the council include an authorization for either the mayor or the city administrator to enter into the agreement on behalf of the city as modified.
So can we accept the motion with
Those
all the
modifications?
recommendations from the city attorney? And then if they agree to that, I would say, right?
Mark?
I just have a question, Paul. Does that also include the rain dates? So I think it indicates in there that if there is a rain out of that date, that we
Well,
would
right
pay.
now, yeah, right
we
now
would
it
pay
says
them
rain or shine.
anyway.
Right now it says-
Would the alternate date also apply to a rain date if
It would give us the right to request a rain date, as that was one of my examples, an alternate date due to inclement weather or
Okay,
rain date.
okay.
So right now, it provides that we would have to pay them rain or shine the full amount. So there is no rain out type of alternate, so I'd
But
recommend
we
that
do know our pavilion is subject to rain, and when you do get a rain event, typically the bands don't play because their equipment gets wet. So I think it would behoove us to have that in, if we're gonna be paying this much money, having that in the contract so that at least we can request that they provide us with a different day that they would be able to play.
Do you agree, Debbie?
Yes, yes. And so we'd have to see if they'd agree to it, right?
Yeah.
So you need a second of that.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Resolutions and ordinances, none. Discussion with possible action. 4607 South Whitnall Avenue, commercial offer to purchase. Mark or Paul?
You want to combine them?
Sure, we can combine them.
Both for 4611 and 4607?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're owned by the same estate. It's John Schwartz Estate, better known as the neighborhood bar property, and the house that's directly to the east, also owned by the Schwartz Estate. It's based on the letter of intent that we discussed in closed session. We reached out to them. They accepted our offer based on the assessed value of the properties. And so the closing date would be scheduled for November 30th.
The 4611, that's the house and that like garage too? that's
Yes,
behind it?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The lease is a month-to-month lease for the house. And the neighborhood bar, as we discussed, has some limitations on the lease that may allow them to stay if they're in compliance. But we have agreed to the terms of purchasing both properties for assessed value.
So do you just need a motion to approve then, Mark? Is that?
Yeah, and can we combine them both into one?
Also move to approve
Yes.
the sale for 4607 and 4611 South Whitnell Avenue.
The purchase?
Purchase, sorry. Purchase.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Quick turn on it.
Yeah.
Ayes have it. Appointments to committees, commission, and boards, none. Correspondence with possible action or referral to committees, commission, and boards. Letter from USA Triathlon Programs and Events Manager Brad Hildebrandt to Administrator Johnson Root dated October 14th, 2021.
City Administrator Mark Johnsrud, my name is Brad Hildebrandt. I am the Safety Coordinator for USA Triathlon-owned national events. USA Triathlon is a national governing body for triathlon in the U.S. We recently produced the National Age Group Triathlon Championships in Milwaukee. As part of our production protocols, we call on local fire, EMS, water safety personnel to assist with our safety operations. The role first responder professionals play in our operational and incident response plan is vital to our success in providing a safe event for our athletes. This responsibility is not taken lightly. We've hosted over 6,000 athletes participating over August 6th through 8th, 2021 weekend. As a former full-time fire captain and tasked with leading the special operations team in Omaha, Nebraska for a 25-year span, I can appreciate excellence when I see it. Your water rescue personnel that provided on-water rescue duties at the triathlon event were beyond excellent. The professionalism displayed pre, during, and post-event by the St. Francis fire personnel provided some of the highest we have collaborated with in over my 5 years with USA Triathlon. Fire Chief Nicholas Poplar was communicative, knowledgeable, and went above and beyond what we require. I just wanted to pass this along and let you know that you should be proud of the service this team provides, and we look forward to working with Chief Poplar and his team when we return for another edition of the Age Group National Championships in 2022. Respectfully, Brad Hildebrandt, Programs and Events Manager, USA Triathlon.
And I would just like to add to that, Chief Poplar, home run for you and your team. Melinda for the DPW. Chief Hunter for what you guys contributed equally. Both of your teams hit home runs too. I appreciate all three of you working together to get this done. It makes the city shine, but you three made it happen with your team. Thank you.
Is it all the same team, or do we have three separate teams?
There's no participation trophies. And it's just one team. Darn it. Moving on.
I
Yes.
make a recommendation to receive and place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Unfinished business? None. Other business? Nones. Department heads? Melinda?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update on the paving project that we have. Two streets yesterday were surfaced, so we're getting very close to the end. The other streets in the second district will be surfaced later this week. So that is going on. Then all that's left after that is some sodding to be done. So that's moving along, and we're still in leaf collection. I think they'll start to pick up. So, and with that, I pass.
Thank you. Chief Poplar?
A couple things. our BLS to ALS, so our basic life support, which we currently operate, to ALS operating plan, which is the plan that we have to submit to the state and operate under, has been submitted to the state. So that's kind of in the first 5 steps of moving forward to providing paramedic service in the city of St. Francis. So we have paramedics currently on staff that will be doing ride-alongs or some work shifts with the city of Milwaukee or West Allis in the near future to get checked off and credentialed as full practice paramedics within our county boundaries. So there's a different standards of care, different things that they can do within Milwaukee County, and they're held to a higher standard, so they get checked off within our county. So that's coming up for December, January. We'll be receiving the new paramedic ambulance in the month of January as well. So things are definitely rolling towards providing ALS care in our city. Our jobs are opening. The job for paramedic firefighter is currently open. It opened last week. Goes until the 12th. That's on our city website. So if you know anybody that's looking, it will redirect them to the city of Wauwatosa. It's because Wauwatosa handles the applications, background checks, and background investigations and collecting all of the certifications for all 4 communities in the hiring consortium. So if there's any questions on why it's going to Wauwatosa, that's why we hire with those other 3 communities. Wrapping up on very successful, and it's happy to be seeing kids' faces, having the fire station be back in the schools, but wrapping up a successful fire prevention month. And then just going to that letter from the triathlon. Mayor, you're absolutely right. Everyone up there that approves it coming through, that gives the staff the ability to make department head decisions, Melinda and Chief Hunter and their departments, none of this can be done without them. I won't say that the city of St. Francis was spread thin. Might have felt like it, but it was basically all hands on deck for that triathlon, for those couple of days to go through. It also is for the sheriff's department, for the city of Milwaukee, but for our city size, for our population, for the amount of people that we have working in our departments, it's all hands on, and we do a good job producing. So that letter, we in the fire department played a part in as far as the standby response on the course, and then there were several of us that were in the water down at the lakefront because the city of Milwaukee Fire Department has the dive response team there, but they're also subject to call, so they needed dedicated people to be in the water with the participants. And so the fire department was in 2 different spots. Just so you know, the department members involved with the water stuff, they did that on their own time voluntarily. So we weren't paying anyone to go down there. They received a box lunch with a cold turkey sandwich and a bag of chips and a small stipend.
And at least it wasn't bologna.
Right, a small stipend for parking and to make it worth it. But I can go help out down there. My command staff, my line staff handle it, and I know that Melinda and Kevin it was incredible. So for the size of our city, we probably play one of the biggest roles in it when they come to this venue. And with that, I pass.
Thank you. Chief Hunter?
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Nick, for the kind words. Regarding the triathlon, I know, Melinda, I informed you all about the incident that took place with myself on the top of the bridge with that individual who decided that he thought he could drive through me, not listen to my commands. He was charged, just so everybody's aware, with obstructing an officer, disorderly conduct. The felony was dropped, but he's got probation and thousands of dollars worth of fines, so at least he was charged with something for his stupidity. On Wednesday, October 27th, we had a large police presence in Cudahy. I'm sure you all are aware of that. They did not put anything out because it was not our city. That said, our tactical team did go and respond, and the individual who was supposed to be in the house with long guns is a dangerous individual. He was not in the house. He fled in his friend's vehicle. Cudahy was not aware of that at the time. Sergeant Lucht, who was sitting at the St. Francis Brewery, saw the vehicle pass his location. At that point, Officer Brumeyer, and Captain Blunt did a high-risk traffic stop on that vehicle, took him into custody. He resisted, obviously. He was highly intoxicated on lots of medication, drugs, what have you. However, he was successfully, safely taken into custody, which put an end to the standoff. And so that was a peaceful resolution to that event. But it did take up there were a lot of questions regarding that. I know I spoke to the mayor about that. And then Halloween on the 31st, our officers went to home to the sex offenders, the 3 active sex offenders on active supervision within the community, made notification to those 3, the most high profile one being on Amity, and they were all informed that they could not obviously participate, that they had to have their porch lights off, et cetera, not answer the door. They all cooperated, and we only had 2 incidents. That was 2 missing children, and they were quickly reunited with their parents within a matter of minutes. It was just a miscommunication with costumes, I think. Other than that, we had high visibility patrol. We had auxiliaries out on patrol along with our officers, so it was a successful event for Halloween. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Rebecca?
I don't have anything this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2 updates for the council. First, city engineer, city administrator, and I did meet with council for Hidden Ponds this afternoon. Worked through some outstanding issues with regard to the developers agreement. I think we're narrowing them down. I would like to be able to say that we're hopeful of having it for the next council meeting, but I won't because I was wrong before when I tried to predict a date, but we are moving forward. Second, as I think the council is aware, there was a raise order issued for the portion of the self-storage facility at 2040 East St. Francis Avenue. Demolition work was at least commenced this week, and part of the structure is down. They still need to do some cleanup, and they still need to enclose the portion of the building that has now been opened up as a result of that demolition. But again, progress. And with that, I pass.
Thank you. Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. I participated in the FBI Citizens Academy. It really was kind of eye-opening. The FBI is vastly different from what we perceive the FBI as being the Al Capone days, the Hoover days, the untouchable days. Well, I think we really learned from that, both Alderman Fire and myself participated, is that they're just like us. You could have an FBI agent that lives right next door to any one of us, and you wouldn't know that they're an FBI agent, or if you see them in a pick and save or a grocery store or at the mall, they are just like us. So that I think that was probably the biggest eye-opening portion of being a part of the FBI Citizens Academy, and I really I'm glad that I was chosen to do that and complete that. It was really a great experience.
I went through it in 2019, and I highly recommend it to anyone that wants to go through it. If you need any advice on how to do it, I will be there to help you. But it's an awesome 6 weeks,
Yeah, it's 6 weeks.
5 weeks, and then 1 day on the gun range. It's awesome. Thank you, Mark. Debbie?
I just want to thank the police department also for their calming presence on Halloween. We had a huge turnout in our area with a lot of cars and traffic, and with the squads driving up and down. Everything was smooth. I saw people crossing the street properly, and I just want to thank them. I think that made a huge difference.
Amen. Sarah?
I would agree. Thank you to the police department. You always do a great job on Halloween and at all times. I think your team is great and respectful, and with all the kids, out on the streets and it becoming dark outside, it was really nice to see your officers out patrolling the streets. Thank you.
Thanks. Sean?
Same. I enjoyed seeing the officers. It changes the dynamics of the people walking there, a little bit more respectful of not just jumping back and forth on the street. Chief, you already mentioned what I was going to say. That triathlon event is a huge event for 2 days. It's longer than that for you with planning, but it's not a party for you. The DPW people got insulted regularly and said things that people should be ashamed to say in front of their mothers. Same thing for you and your experience. With the FBI Academy, what was humbling for me is, yes, they are just like us, and they have young children like us, but they were incredibly, they're not chest pounders. they spent more time complimenting the community support they get from the sheriff's department, from the local police departments, and emergency crews when they have events. That really meant a lot to me, that it wasn't all about them. Everything you see on TV is where FBI, get out of the way. It was, no, we work with this community, they're great. We did get insight into some things like the Beaver Dam explosion that was alarming, very eye-opening, and what you see potentially. I'll just end it with thanking all of you for what you do. And on that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Sean. Council President Don Brickner.
I'm going to pass this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Movie star, what's his name again? Matt Damon. I'll never, ever get tired of saying Matt Damon.
Just want to say, reiterate, I mean, we know it, what you guys do for this community is amazing, and obviously the city would not be the same without you three individuals and your departments doing what you do every day. But seeing somebody else write a letter and saying that, even though we already know it, it's really cool. It's something to hold up. So yeah, it's great, and appreciate everything you guys are doing. With that, I pass.
Thank you. Steve?
I'll pass this evening, sir.
I will be very quick. All three of you, Melinda, Chief Poplar, Chief Hunter, everyone up here on the Common Council, and all the employees of St. Francis, you make us look good. You make my job much, much easier, and I'm very appreciative to every single one of you. You make my job a heck of a lot easier, and I'm very appreciative, and I do notice that. Thank you.
Second.
Let me check the mayor's report.
That was fast.
All in favor?